everybody, welcome to the Fin Factor. I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
Off screen, of course, we have super producer Jason. This is episode number 257, and Aaron, what a week of Sharks hockey. It's kind of more of the same, unfortunately.
Trust
it leaves
me,
a lot of...
it sucks.
Oh. It does, thank you. We got a few new ones here. I think you guys will enjoy these. It's one of those weeks, I guess, that has Sharks fans collectively going...
Yes.
It's rough, and that's just the life of a Sharks fan right now. It's too bad. However, thank you for being here, and if you can please get some more Sharks friends and family in here so we can all be miserable together, I think that would be fantastic. And a good little therapy session, which we've tended to provide as the years have gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's getting harder, but yes. We'll be here for you. Thank you for joining us, for those who are here.
We'll be here for you. Okay, good. So we had a few games here. Let's just jump straight into the misery. Carolina beats the Sharks by a score of 5-1. Now this is an elite team. This is a cup contending type of team.
Yes.
And they play the same way regardless of who they're playing against. Mm-hmm. You could be another cup contending team, or you could be the Sharks, and they're going to play you the exact same way every single time. And it seems like it doesn't matter which line they throw out, they all tend to play the same way as well. They've really bought into the system.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this before against the Vegas team. This Carolina team has been together for a long time, and there's not very many moving parts here. And what I'm talking about is there's not a lot of different clientele, different players that are joining the team or leaving the team every year. They have a lot of the same guys who've played together. The chemistry is amazing. They all buy into the system. They understand the system. They've been to the finals. They've gone very far deep in the playoffs almost year after year. So it is always a cup contending team, coached very well by Rod the Bod Brindamore, former NHL player. So they do not take their foot off the gas. This is a team that punishes other teams and does not stop and keeps going. And on my way over here, I was thinking, okay, by some miracle, the Sharks make the playoffs this year. Squeak in, right? No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
This is the team that they would be up against in the first round.
Right.
It would be ugly, right? It was more of a measuring stick of, okay, the Sharks have a long way to go. They are getting there. They're getting better, and I know it's hard to fathom after this week, but they are getting better slowly. And as we said before, the trajectory is not straight. It's going to be up and down, lots of peaks and valleys. Right now, we're in a deep valley.
I made the mistake of giving some stock advice. You correct me on that last time around, I believe. Yeah,
yes.
we are not financial advisors.
No.
So good things that came out of this game, at least. If we could just hit on some of those.
Sure.
I think the main good thing, if you will, Michael Misa makes his NHL debut and looks like he can contribute at the NHL level.
Yes, he looked comfortable-ish with the puck. He's still very young. He's 18. He's not turning 19 until February, I believe. So he's a pretty young second overall pick from the draft, and a young kid who's going to be making his way in the NHL. Again, kind of like how Will Smith did last year. He's going to be in and out of the lineup here and there. Kind of depends on both the schedule. If it's a back-to-back, he probably won't be playing in them, and also the opponents and who they're playing against. I was kind of surprised to see him coming against Carolina, but I think the lineup probably dictated it, the schedule a little bit, and I think maybe some of the guys that he was replacing were a little banged up and just needed a little rest or something. But nevertheless, he ended up with 15:06 ice time, pretty decent for a forward, for a rookie. 338 of that was on the power play, so that's a big chunk. Was a -2, had 2 blocks and 1 giveaway. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. 2 blocks. Going back to Celebrini light.
Yeah.
He got 2 blocks. That's a pretty good deal for an 18-year-old in the NHL.
And his first game, not just an 18-year-old. First time getting out there. So, yeah, I mean, great for the young guy to get out there, block a few shots, feel a few coming his way. Again, a decent amount of ice time. It's not like they held him out, in those... I think we had some of the early Will Smith days where we only got like 11 minutes or 9 minutes or whatever it was in a night. And I'm sure similar thing might happen with him. They pull him back a little bit. Obviously, this was just the first game here that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. But good to see that he's kind of entrusted with a good chunk of minutes.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised to see that. Now, the Sharks did okay in this game. I think they seemed to be... They couldn't hang with Carolina. Yeah. Carolina's, and even before the game, Warsofsky was talking to the media, and he was like, they are a heavy forechecking team. They are very on top of their game. Every single line is just going to be coming at you. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm just going to point every once in a while. I see a comment, and I just kind of, yes, I acknowledge you wickedly charming.
Yes.
But keep going.
Just this game was kind of brutal. They did okay. I think they did better in this game than they did in the next game that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But they just, they couldn't. They're not there. Like, they're just not there.
Yeah.
I think their main problem right now is 5-on-5. Power play, I think, is great. I think they're very dangerous, and most teams are going to know that they're going to be dangerous. And I feel like San Jose hasn't really been dangerous in the power play in a number of years, so teams kind of take liberties and taking penalties. Now I think that's going to change a little bit. They're going to try and be a little bit more disciplined, because that's how the Sharks are going to hurt you, is on the power play. Now they need to do the next step. The next level is 5-on-5, which is much harder, obviously, because you have less time, less ice, more hard work, because you're most likely going to spend a lot of time in your zone, not just the offensive zone. But this game was, I think, a good measuring stick in how far away they are going to be from being a playoff contender.
Yeah. Also of note here, Sam Dickinson.
Yes.
Getting not as many minutes, I think, as you were hoping for in this one.
11:52 of ice time in this one. He had 2 penalties, so he had 4 penalty minutes. A -3, 1 block, and 1 giveaway. Now, this one, I think he struggled heavily in this, which is to be expected. A young defender, 19 years old, coming to the league, playing against men. Now, up until this point in his career, before he started playing NHL games, he was probably the biggest guy all the time. Dominant, biggest guy. Obviously, he's got puck skills, so he's elite with the puck. Now he's just a guy. And that's kind of hard for some guys when they come into the league, where it's the first time they've ever had to deal with adversity. The first time they've ever had to go, oh my gosh, like I have to actually work my tail off and be as perfect as I can be. I can't do any lazy kind of stuff. And I'm not saying he was, but it's again, I'm going to keep saying this, a wake-up call, right? Like, he needs to kind of get his stuff together, which I'll talk about later. He did. In a couple games later, he played much better game. Sure. But I think in this one he was exposed a little bit, and just you could see, and this is going to happen. This is what we watch for, is these young guys, especially the rookies coming in, right? Yeah. Dickinson, Misa, and some more down the line that might be joining, seeing the spurts of excellence. And then also going with the brain farts of, like, you can't do that at this level because you will get burnt.
Right.
And that happened a lot in this game, with Dickinson specifically.
Right.
Got beat off walls.
Somebody who is still very young, but not quite a rookie anymore, obviously, William Eklund, gets his first of the year in this game. So, again, looking for some bright spots, if you will.
Yes.
You like this goal?
I did like this goal. I think it's a goal that... was it Anderson in net? I can't even remember who was in net. It seemed so long ago.
I know.
There's so much has happened since then. But I think this is a goal that he should have stopped and wants back. No, it was Bussy. Bussy? That's what
Bussy.
It was the rookie.
That's right.
I think it was one of his first games, and he was a 28-year-old rookie.
He did extremely well that game. I mean,
did.
It's not like the Sharks didn't give him some pressure, though. The Sharks gave him some pressure. I know what you're saying. But,
yes.
I thought he did a good job in net.
He had 16 saves on 17 shots. Not a lot of work.
Sure, not a whole lot of work there, but I mean, he was solid for those 16 saves at least.
Yes.
So, I mean, good on him.
Yep.
Great job by the young netminder there. Okay, so moving on from this one, is there anything else you wanted to say about it? The Carolina game? I don't know.
Just that they're an elite team.
The shots on goal was the other thing. Yeah.
How elite are they? They shut teams down. Once they get a lead, they are going to shut you down. They're going to work their tails off to keep that lead. And this is where the Sharks need to be, or will be down the line in the future. This is what they should work towards, being a team like this. Because, again, going back to last season, 30-plus games of losing by a goal.
Yeah.
Or I think it was over 10 or 12 where they had the lead in the third period and lost the game. Take those games, and now you're going to shut those down. That's the difference. That's where you're going to make the difference in the standings, and your team is going to be more of the contender team or a bubble playoff team, right? That's where they have to get.
And I think we can say, too, with Carolina, that, and this is something that we'll get to later on as well, is that a lot of the offense comes from their defense, from their ability to shut down. They lock you up. They don't allow you into the zone. And if they do, they get the puck back immediately, and then they work on their game breaking out.
Stretch passes, right? That's where they got him. Like the Sharks were behind, so they're pushing, and then they take a guy and they have him stretched out, and they get that long pass. They get the breakaways or the odd man breaks coming back. That's kind of their jam, right? I'm
actually kind of glad you brought that up because we will be saying something similar later on. Thank you for teeing that one up.
For those that didn't know or watch this game, the Sharks had 0 shots on goal in the third period.
Ludicrous.
Their last shot on goal.
I keep telling myself there's got to be a reason why this keeps happening in a sense.
Their last shot on goal came with 1:29 left in the second period. Gaudette, who should have scored, he had a beautiful chance.
Yeah.
A high danger chance in the slot and couldn't finish it. And he usually does finish those.
It sucks.
And but before that, it was like even 10 minutes before that in the second period. So like the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes are an elite shutdown. You know what's funny?
Wrong sport.
I wrote.
Oh, I cannot lie. It was a lot last month, and
I don't know if you noticed this, Jason, but in the original metadata, I wrote Carolina Panthers because it just rolls off the tongue easier than Hurricanes in the description, and I had to go into YouTube and change it. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that.
you're not going to work here anymore.
Yeah,
It's Sunday after all. So
right.
yes.
This was last week.
Well, okay.
Anyway, done with that game.
Yeah.
Done with that game.
Okay, good. Yeah, because we're solid. Okay.
Yes.
Moving on. So in between that game and this one, Vincent, is it Iorio or Iorio? Guys, I've heard it both ways. Can you guys put in the chat either EYE for Iorio or
Eeyore
for Iorio? Anyway, yeah, let us know how it's supposed to be pronounced. I got confused, honestly, because I heard it both ways. Yeah. So he gets put on the waiver wire by the Washington Capitals. Sharks pounce on this guy. Why? Right-handed defenseman, first of all. Awesome. Young, I think he was 22?
He's from 2021 draft picks. He's the same age as Eklund. Same draft as Eklund.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, again, a younger guy, right-handed defenseman, and the stuff that they had on Elite Prospects that was talking about him, saying that he's very good with getting his passes through. He finds ways to pick you apart, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Kellen's saying Iorio. There it is, Iorio. Okay, we'll go with that. Thank you, Kellen. They're very complimentary of his skill set. Now, that was, you're saying, back from the draft year, and it just gets left there, and then that's what he was supposed to become.
This is 4 years ago.
Right? So now what he's become is a guy that the Sharks claimed off of waivers so far.
I think, this guy, they tried to sneak him in, and it's fun because I like to read the other team's perspective, the Washington Capitals, like, media and stuff about him getting claimed. And they basically said he had a great camp. He had a great showing in camp. Stayed on the team, made the team, and there was him and someone else, but there's just a logjam over there.
Yeah.
And he's an up-and-coming defenseman, more of a shutdown role than an offensive role, even though he can move the puck. He's a two-way defenseman. Just a numbers game, and they tried to sneak him into waivers, and the Sharks are like, no. That's exactly the kind of player that we need.
Yeah.
So we're going to I think they put Klingberg on IR. Is that what it was?
Klingberg was on IR, yeah.
Because they had to make a move in order to get him onto the team, and that's what they did. So... I think Mike Grier and his team do a wonderful job of not just scouting future NHL players, prospects of other teams. They have a list of guys. Probably an alert goes off like, this guy hit waivers, he's on our list. He fits the mold of what we want. They probably have a number of guys, right? And that one triggers and they go, okay, are we going to do this or not? Let's do it.
Pounce.
Exactly. And they know. Like, it's not like I had no idea this guy was going to go on waivers. They're studying these other teams. They know exactly the numbers games that other teams are playing and how they're going to kind of position themselves and where they could get into trouble, where the Sharks are going to be able to take a player. And I think that's where they went with this.
Yeah, some folks are asking about what we thought of him. Do you have any thoughts in particular? Now, omitting what we're going to talk about in the upcoming games here, but just let's put it this way. How about just the idea of grabbing a player like this? Obviously, you like it.
I like it because he fits the mold of a Mike Grier player. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. He is a big boy.
Yeah.
This is something the Sharks are lacking in the back end.
Well, there you go.
Desharnais is there, but this guy's younger. He's going to be able to mold into what the Sharks are going to want. He's going to be growing with the same class. Like, if you look at it, Grier talked about this before. They don't have enough players from certain draft years. the 2021 draft year was the last draft that Doug Wilson Jr. was ahead of, and then Mike Grier came in the following season. That 21 draft class, you take William Eklund, and I think it's Ethan Cardwell or the other guy, that's it that's left.
Yeah.
Everybody is gone. And that's only from 4 years ago. That's not that long ago. Those are the guys that should be hitting the NHL right about now in those later rounds.
Yeah.
So they completely wiped everything from that 21 draft, and this is a guy that they're bringing in because they like having guys in certain, almost like college, like different draft years, different years, different ages, hitting at different times, and this guy fits the mold perfectly. I mean, 22 years old, right-handed shot defenseman. What do the Sharks need right now?
Exactly, a young right-handed.
22. Yeah. So I like the move. Now, is he gonna pay dividends for the roster right now? No, I don't think so. I think he's serviceable, but I don't think he's not gonna be the answer. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh, this is what is gonna put the Sharks over the edge. They're finally gonna start winning games. They're gonna push and go up the standings. No, that's not it. This is just another piece of the puzzle for down the road.
I thought it was confusing only in that I thought we were already at 50 contracts, and that was the reason that we had Jack Thompson on IR and then had to have him go through waivers when he came off of IR. And then we go and we pick up Iorio, and I'm going, how? That's 51, isn't it?
Right.
The reason being, and we looked at this later on too, is that both Misa and Dickinson, because their contracts are still eligible to slide because of the whole 9-game rule, because they're still eligible to slide, they don't count towards the 50 contracts. So because those two don't count, we were able to grab Iorio off of waivers, and it didn't put us over the contract limit. Now, this will become a problem because Misa and Dickinson are both showing that they can handle NHL minutes, and they're going to go over their 9 games this season.
They're going to just keep punting as far as they can before they make a decision, I think.
I think they're going to keep punting as far as they can until they find a trade partner to unload.
That, and they don't want to make a decision because they don't have to just yet.
Sure.
So unless there's some trade that comes through that they are absolutely in love with, I'm sure Grier is working the lines and trying to get probably the best value that he can for certain players that are looking to get moved.
I think other GMs got to know that he's in a bit of a tough spot, though, because those players, you want to play those young guys. They're good enough to play. You want to play them. And if you do want to play them past their 9 games, you're going to have to move somebody. Either Iorio or somebody else goes back down through waivers, and then you risk losing them anyway.
Yes.
Right? And you don't want to move either one of those guys to the OHL because then they can't come back up for the rest of the season.
Right. Think about going back to Iorio.
I can't lie, it was, a lot last, months.
So, real quick, in our notes, he put Iorio first. He had his name in there 3 times, but the second and third time he put Iafallo, and I think it was an autocorrect, or at least that's what he says. But
I definitely did not type Iafallo, but now that you said it, it's
in
my head, so it's like, oh, man.
I mean, just absolutely freaking embarrassing.
Yeah. Anyway, is this a replacement for Jack Thompson? Direct competition, right-handed shot defenseman.
Yeah.
But he's a bigger dude, much bigger than Jack Thompson. Do you think that can now be a piece to be moved because they have a replacement for Jack Thompson?
Oh, you're saying move Jack Thompson?
That could be one of the contracts that gets moved so that they have room for Misa and Dickinson.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of, I love Jack Thompson. Great guy.
Friend of the show.
Great interview. You should go back and look at it. I'm not joking. He's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
And a great interview. He was the most talkative of the 3 that we interviewed that day. I think he's kind of stuck, and it sucks. Like, these are the kind of guys that get squeezed in the NHL. Not quite good enough to be an everyday player. Not too good for the AHL, so they're kind of that 7th defenseman. But then to send him down, they got to clear waivers, and someone's going to take him. So they're just constantly bouncing around. That's how the Sharks got him. They got him off of waivers from Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
Or no, they didn't get off of waivers. Did they?
Thompson?
No.
I think it was. It
they traded for him.
It might have been traded.
That came with. I think it was the Duclair trade.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. But he's kind of that in betweener because you know what? This is the first year he's had to clear waivers. That's why, because he was still under his entry level contract when they traded for him. So he's just another one of those guys in the NHL that just gets tossed around, kind of like I'm gonna say Iafallo.
Yeah,
Iorio. I did that one on purpose.
Ben's got to get. See, 9 games is coming up soon. That's my fear. Is that the 9 games is coming up sooner than
Yes, but remember, they're scratching them for some games, so it's going to get stretched just a little bit more. But
okay, so 18 games into the season.
I'm saying like another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A week. Yeah, another 2 weeks.
You better have the decision made before 2 weeks come up, though.
And a lot of teams like to make decisions around Thanksgiving-ish, roughly, of their roster. If there's injuries or if someone's just not working out right, or, hey, this team should be better than it is and it's not in the standings. Speaking of which, do you know what team is below the Sharks right now in the standings?
Oh, God.
There is a team below the Sharks.
Wait. No, I know this one. No. It's a red. There's a red team.
Very good,
not
Paul.
Flames, not
Very
Flames.
good. Yes.
Is it?
Yes,
it is.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
Flames.
there you go. Yeah. I'm like, I know it's a red one.
Yeah. The Calgary Flames have one win. However, it's a shootout win.
Yeah, okay.
Does not count.
It doesn't count.
Does not count. So the Sharks actually have more points in the or the same amount of points, 2 points in the standings, but they are above them because they have 2 overtime losses versus a shootout
also,
win.
Calgary's played 6 games. We've only played 5. I think that plays into it as well.
Yes, the win percentage, correct.
Anyway, because they do have a regulation win, whereas we don't. And if we're tied on points, that would be a tiebreaker. But they have more games played, therefore their percentage is lower. Yeah. So, go Sharks for 31st.
I give up one of my children for a win.
Oh, super producer Jason had some fun before the show here. Yeah, fantastic.
That one's going to be used
Could
for
you even
years.
believe he said that, by the way? If I'm Mama Warsofsky and I hear my husband saying that...
I give up one of my children for a win.
Oh my God, really? Like, that's crazy.
That's why I was wondering if his wife's going to be pissed when he gets
Oh,
home.
yes, of course. Oh my God. Anyway, so... Yeah, we claim Iorio. I was almost said I follow as well. Jeez, my goodness. I like the move. I just don't like that we are essentially kind of handcuffed right now. There's a lot of pressure on what we're supposed to be doing with our roster coming up, and just a few more games played for these guys. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing that is kind of like, I don't know. There's a lot of like pressure there. There's a lot of tension there. So he'll have to figure it out. I'm sure Mike Brewer will. I'm sure he's already got a plan in place. Yeah. Some sort of contingency, right? But yeah, I think you might be right. It has something to do with the direct competition with Jack Thompson. Again, more competition among the younger guys is totally welcomed. It's a better situation than nobody earning their spot like in years previous when they just threw him into the lineup. And just kind of, sink or swim, and we'll do it the best we can with it. Constantly having that revolving door. At least this way, there's somebody that you can point at and say, I'm fighting him for that job, right? So, I like the pickup. I like that they brought him in. I like his size. I like the potential that's there. Again, not a guy that's going to be, very impactful immediately, but just a building block for just a little bit later down the road, right?
I feel bad. I'm going to talk about it in a minute here, but... I felt bad for him because he knows nobody on the team, right? Like, he knew some kids. I think he knew Celebrini, and he knew there's somebody else that he grew up playing with, but when they were 12. Like, I think it was Colin Graff. Was one of them. They played when they were like 12 years old. It's so long ago for that. It was 10 years ago for those guys. Which, when you're 22, 10 years ago seems like a lifetime. Yeah. Right? So, he didn't know anybody, and the chemistry is just not there. So, there's going to be mistakes, and it's going to get... it'll get better eventually.
Yeah. I think who's it? Kellen Foster just said Letty is so slow versus some of these wingers. It's sad. Yes. So maybe that is where the Sharks end up going with this. Maybe they end up putting like Letty on waivers. That's where they got him from in the first place. Yeah.
Put Letty on waivers. Keep Iorio, Dickey, and Misa.
Yeah. Somebody called them cookies earlier, or cookie, and I'm like, you can't, because we have milk and cookies. You can't have more cookies. Oh, jeez, it doesn't make sense.
Well, it goes with the theme.
I know it does. It's,
Trust me, it sucks.
So at least it's Oreos. You can dunk them in milk and whatever. Anyway, so this Utah game. Just not a very good game whatsoever.
MJ just said he didn't even get a practice before the Utah game.
Yeah.
He just got thrown into the Wolves. Like, just go.
Which, okay, let's be fair. For him, I'm sure he enjoyed that. I'm sure he would rather get thrown into an NHL game.
Yeah, it's fine.
Right? Rather than, find himself either back in the AHL or clearing waivers. Nobody wants me, right? I'm sure he was more than happy to get that NHL game, even if it meant getting smoked by Utah. You know what I mean?
Right.
So good for him. I'm glad that he got the game in there, and I'm glad he followed up with the next game as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I as a guy that, your team is essentially saying we're okay if we lose you, to be able to go the next night and play in the NHL, Absolutely. Good for him.
Yeah.
So anyway, this Utah game, just an ugly one. I don't know how much we really want to expand on this one, but a 6-3 loss. They at least put up 3.
They did.
Which is,
And
bright spot.
I thought they were looking better because they tied the game up, right?
Yeah.
It was 2-2. And then the third goal that they gave up was just a bad turnover.
Yeah.
And then the fourth goal was the one where Iorio went behind the net and just passed it, reversed it right, and it went right to their player, and it ended up going back to the net. But that again goes to him getting thrown into this game without he has no communication prior with anyone else on the ice. Like it's just the chemistry's not there. They don't know how he's going to play. He came from a different system. Maybe they do something differently positionally just a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And that third goal, I think, was the one that Askarov bumbled behind the net.
It rimmed around and it came behind the net, and he had his stick in the right position, but it went off of his skate before it hit his stick. I'm not even sure.
I thought it came off the boards funny.
I think when he was coming around to play it, he put his body up against the board. I think it hit his skate. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I only saw the replay like once. I think it hit his skate and kind of angled back out instead of going towards his stick.
Yeah.
And then what did the nickname for the guy with the red hair? I forget what they said. Guys, if you heard it on the broadcast, please let me know. It's O'Brien.
Utah?
Yeah, the guy's last name was O'Brien, I think. Please let me know what his nickname. I think it was Tuna Fish or something like that.
Gross.
Yeah. Just an interesting one. But anyway, if you remember, please put it in the chat there.
I don't want to hear about freaking Fragile, okay?
Spicy tuna, MJ, spicy tuna, because he's got the red beard and everything. That's fantastic. Are you kidding?
That's not bad.
That's great. I love that.
Big tuna just sounds gross.
Well, hey,
spicy tuna.
Tuna. Yeah,
that sounds better
because he had the red.
Right, I get it now.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Good. Anyway, so at least they got a sense of humor out there in Utah. Well done.
Yes.
Okay, so goals by Toffoli, Skinner, and Celebrini. 2 of these power play goals. Yeah.
Yes, 2 out of the 3.
This goes back to what you were talking about earlier. You like the power play at least.
Power play looks dangerous, looks good, and looks like I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the top half of the league by, we get a little more sample size than 6 games.
Like Thanksgiving.
Right, like even past that. Like once you get to more like halfway through the season, maybe at the end of the calendar year, we'll take a look and see where they land. I bet they're going to be in the top 15, top half of that league because it is pretty good. And that's where they're getting their goals from, practically, in most of these games.
Yeah. Okay, anything else you want to say about the Utah game in particular?
I know people get really upset when they see both Askarov and Nedeljkovic coming out of the net, right?
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to come out of the net. They're doing more good than harm. They might give up a goal every now and then. I remember everyone was upset about Nedeljkovic in the very first game of the season, right? He had 2 of them in one game. Askarov would have done the exact same thing. Like, everyone was like, why didn't he stay in his net on that breakaway for the overtime?
Yeah.
Askarov would have been right there just as well. And Askarov needs to... He did not look good. He doesn't look good in both of his starts. He was kind of hung out to dry a couple times, but his expected goals saved is negative, which is not good. I don't know if you saw that, but I didn't post this, but... He's at negative 1.78, and Nedeljkovic is a positive 1.78, meaning he's almost saving 2 more goals that should have been goals.
Yeah.
Askarov is letting in 2 more goals that should have been saved.
Yeah.
So he's usually better than that, and I think he will be better than that. He's going to be a good goalie. But again, it's going to take time, and like I said, the trajectory is not going to be a straight line. He's not going to be an all-star goalie by the end of the season. It's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. So we'll see stretches, especially for goalies. Like, they kind of go on hot streaks and cold streaks.
Yeah, and like I've said before, in seasons past, like, goalie stats are, look, a bouncing puck bouncing over and going into the net, or him deciding to go out and charge a puck and not being able to make the play off the wall instead. Again, we talked about this last time around where he made the play and it hits the skate. If it doesn't hit a skate, we're all talking about how brilliant that play would be, right? That's the difference, is that little puck hit that little blade and it went the other direction. If it didn't do that, we'd be going, my goodness, what a great play by Nedeljkovic. That's awesome, right? So, again, it's just little tiny weird bounces like that. In the beginning of the season, I'd rather see them having these little gaffes and kind of get this stuff out of the way, as opposed to this being something that you would still be seeing all the way near towards the end of the season, right? Because this is just the way that they constantly play and are constantly making these weird gaffes, right? I don't think you're going to see this stuff. As we said, you see this happen like once a season in the NHL. Not just per team or per goalie, in the NHL. And it happened to him twice in that one night. Right,
within a minute and a half of each other.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Askarov, again, he's a little bit more adventurous, kind of the same thing. He goes back to play one, and it happens to take a weird bounce, and it goes out, and they score on that. Okay, let's get those out of the way now, all right? I'm not saying they're going to be perfect for the rest of the season by any means whatsoever, but what I am saying is at least get the little blunders out of the way, get some coaching from Spear, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of iron that stuff out, and you probably are not going to see, not to this level at least, the kind of weird goalie bounces that we've been seeing in the first couple weeks.
No. I think someone just said, I'm not a huge fan of alternating goalies every game. I think they need to build some confidence. That was from Nick W. But I don't mind right now them going back and forth. Like I think it has more to do with the lineup changes, and we're going to get into this in a little bit, the injuries that are just decimating the blue line. They don't have NHL caliber defensemen filled through their lineup, right? They don't have the same guys that know each other very well from years of playing together as a pairing. It's just not there. It's not built yet. The chemistry's not there. A lot of this, it all adds up because hockey's a game of inches. Like you just talked about the pass that Nedeljkovic made, right? And it hit a skate, right? An inch. Like we're talking very minute details. The Sharks are just not executing on these minute details, and it's coming back to bite them in the rear. At least it is right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of puck luck, too. Like, they're just not on the right side of puck luck. Now,
beat off walls.
How do you get puck luck? You got to work your butt off, right? You got to work through it. You got to just keep working through your struggles.
Yeah.
Jamie Baker talked about this when he was on our show. Like, when he wasn't on the score sheet, what would he do?
Yeah.
He would run himself silly on hills until he threw up because he just, like, and he worked on face-offs, and he worked on the other things that you don't see on the score sheet, so that at least you're not going to outwork him or out-hustle him. He's going to be out there and be that dog out there.
Yeah.
This is what the Sharks need to be. So the goaltending, I think, will solidify. It's getting better. They're going to be communicating better with their defensemen, especially those two, because they are very active with their sticks. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but in these games, watch these games and watch the goalies. Both of them very active on their stick while they're in their net for poke checks. They have at least 1, 2, 3 poke checks a game that stops a scoring chance because they're trying to go cross the crease to the other side. The goalies in the last couple of years, the Sharks did not do that.
Yeah.
They watched the puck go across and react to it, and they would get scored on. They're stopping a lot of those chances by themselves. So I like it. I like the aggressiveness. I would prefer an aggressive goalie. And look, who's their goalie coach other than Spear? Who's the other goalie coach for the Sharks?
Well, Nabokov.
Nabokov.
Yeah.
What did he do as a goalie? He was very active
Yeah.
and very aggressive with the puck and stopping the puck behind the net because he wanted to play it. Another goalie who scored a goal in the NHL, right?
Yes.
So, yes, I'm excited for the Sharks to go back to Nabokov. That's what I like personally to see in a goalie, because I don't like goalies that stay in the net and just react and do stuff. Sure, some of them are good like that. I mean, it's kind of like an NFL quarterback, right?
Okay.
Like, there's pocket quarterbacks and there's mobile quarterbacks.
Okay.
I liken them to mobile quarterbacks. I like a mobile quarterback because they can make things happen that these other quarterbacks can't.
Okay.
And I don't think they should be handcuffed by him. Go out there and score a goal to Delphic.
See, and whereas I'm a little bit of the mind, like what I think it's Steve Dangle says this one, where, you know, if you're a goaltender, tend the goal. Right? And I agree with that. I don't want him just running around everywhere. But at the same time, yes, I do like that there's a little bit of mobility there. There's a little bit of extra puck play there. The capability from the two goaltenders, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about this before. It's kind of like having another puck mover, right? A defenseman out there that's making a pass. And instead of the defenseman being behind the net and trying to make a pass to either the other defender or one of your wingers or the centerman running the center route, the goalie can actually hit either of the defenders or that winger that's on the wall or the centerman running the center route. So it just adds another layer there, right? As long as it doesn't bounce off a skate and end up in the back of your net, it's fine, right? So, I think it's a little bit of a mixture of both. You don't want to be too adventurous because then if it does end up in the back of your net, gosh, you look silly, and your team that has been working so hard to try to get ahead or to tie the game up or whatever else, and then you make a mistake like that? Oh, come on.
I'm not expecting...
I give up one of my children for a win.
Exactly.
I'm not expecting Nedeljkovic to be skating out to the blue line every game, right?
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about behind the net, right? Yeah. Also, as a former goalie in soccer, I was I was skilled with my feet. Most goalies weren't.
Yeah.
And so I always wanted the ball at my feet, like pass me the ball, like it adds another dimension to the game. And I was always very aggressive and coming off the goal, whatever. That's a whole different sport. But I liken that to these goalies that can play with the puck. I like it.
All right. Okay. Moving on from this game, we're going to go straight into the roll call. Aaron, go ahead. Fire away with the roll call.
All right. Tell us what city you are watching from and how can the Sharks get out of this slump. Also, if you're listening after the live, you can put it in the comments as well. Tell us what city you're watching because I like seeing this stuff. We're all over the world, not just the United States, not just North America. All over the world, people are listening to us. So it's pretty cool to see and others to see where you are watching from.
In fact, you said listening to us. So if you're listening on a podcast as well, and there's some means of adding a comment in there, please do that there as well. Okay, Aaron, what do they need to do to get out of the slump then? What do you think?
Keep working. I think this next game we're talking about in Pittsburgh is you're going to win more games than lose if you keep playing that way. Absolutely. So they definitely got the message. Again, we'll get into that. But keep working your tail off. Nail your chances on the power play. I think that is, keep doing that. Don't lose that. Because right now your 5-on-5 is not strong. Get stronger on 5-on-5, obviously, and lock down the front of your net. I think too many times we've seen goals being scored on, again, we're going to talk about it soon, where the defensemen aren't tying up sticks. And they're getting easy goals off of it. I think the defense needs to work better, get better at tying up players and sticks and positioning themselves, blocking out the players from front of the net. And I think that is going to be, to me, the key to success. Hard work. What do you think?
That's exactly it. It's compete level more than anything else. These guys have the skill, right? You've got very highly skilled players, albeit inexperienced. Eklund, he's got more experience now. He's practically the veteran on the team. Celebrini, Smith, Misa now, right? Dickinson, right? You've got all these guys that are very highly talented, but it's a matter of getting that talent and putting it behind it. A little bit of compete, a little bit of aggression. You guys hear me talking about this all the time with a certain player. If those players are playing that way, and we'll see it in the next game here, you're going to have more success. If you're playing with a level of like heart and compete behind everything, not just going out there and trying to do X and O's, not going out there and trying not to make a mistake, right? Trust in yourself, trust in your ability, but compete behind it, right? I think what you're going to find is that with the young legs and with the very high hockey IQ, that inexperience can kind of get shoved to the side with just a lot of hard work, as you're saying. So I think for me, it's the compete level getting ratcheted up, ramp that up as high as you can. Things like tying up sticks and whatnot. It's sometimes and this goal that happened with Sidney Crosby, right? Sometimes you actually got a stick on their stick and it didn't really matter.
Sometimes it's Sidney Crosby.
It's exactly right. But I think if instead of just doing the motion, right, I'm tying up the stick, I've got the body. Instead of that, if there's a level of like ferocity behind it, right? Yeah, I've got his stick, but is he still controlling it? Because if so, I need to put a little more oomph into that. I'm boxing him out, but is he pushing on me? Then I need to shove him back, right? I'm coming across that line. There's a guy who's got his stick out. Am I just trying to do everything just to weave around it? Or do I care that he's there and I'm going to try to even go through him? Like, screw you. I'm getting across this line, right? Just a little bit of that kind of attitude. Add that to the game just a little bit, that high compete. And I think you're going to see a little bit of a difference. Even when there's a little bit less experience, maybe the poise isn't quite there, right? I think even with that, just having that high level compete, you're going to see a difference in these guys. So that's what I think that they need to do, is just add that high level of compete. And that's what Coach Ryan Warsofsky is asking for more than anything else. He goes, we got to go out there and we got to compete.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I have been critical of a specific player for the past 2 seasons or so now, right? Will Smith. And one of the main things I've said about Will Smith is I don't see the compete level. I don't see the heart. He's out there cheating for offense. I've seen that time and time. He doesn't want anything to do with physicality, right? He doesn't want. There was a power play that they were on. I can't remember which game it was. I think it was Detroit a long time ago, and this was last season. Mm-hmm. And they got the puck back, and they were skating it up into the Shark zone. Smith was the first guy back. Literally just put his stick out like this, like the walls here, puts his stick out like this, and puts his hand on the guy's back and just kind of rides him. Doesn't like push him into the wall, just kind of like stays with him like this. And it's like,
I'm doing this so I don't get fined.
Yes, exactly. That's not good enough.
No.
It's not good enough. There's no compete there. Were you up against him? Yes. Was your stick up against his stick? Yes. Technically, were you in the right spot? Yes. Was there anything behind that play whatsoever? No, not at all. That guy, whoever it was that had the puck, was surprised that he wasn't put in the wall practically. He was just like, what? What are you doing? So that's, again, what I think needs to happen. Now, specifically talking about Will Smith, he did get a message from Coach Warsofsky. And this isn't even the first time, I think.
No, but there's a comment here.
Yes.
I'm reading a lot of comments elsewhere that Warsaw has lost the room. Thoughts?
Do I have to bring that up now, or can we finish this thought first?
Well, it's kind of related.
Keep telling myself there's got to be a reason why this keeps happening in a sense.
There's an echo.
Yeah, we got the echo going on too. So has Warsaw lost? Yes, I've seen.
No, you don't have
this.
to answer. You can keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep going. So let's take a look at the graphic from the Utah game. Yeah. So it says Warsofsky on why the Graf Delandra Smith line got benched. And we don't have the puck, and they're leaving the zone. You can't play winning hockey that way. Says that they got better after the benching. I'm gonna pat myself on the back here, not apologetically whatsoever.
You talked about this last week.
I've talked about this not just last week, over and over and over again, that he's cheating for offense. Mm-hmm. He tends to lead the zone, and they don't even have control of the puck. My words specifically, he leaves the zone, and they don't have the puck yet. That is exactly what Warsofsky just said in that tweet. They're leaving the zone. It's not just Smith, but he did specifically say Smith did this, right? He leaves the zone. We don't even have the puck yet. You can't have winning hockey that way. So to me, that was like very validating. I put it in our Slack channel, like a hand with a microphone. Like that's exactly what I said. So just all day long. However, going into this other game here, actually, no, there's one more thing before I get to that. San Jose Hockey Now, Sheng Peng. If you're not checking out San Jose Hockey Now, you need to. They are fantastic. When there's
Well, Shang, if I knew that answer, then I wouldn't have. We would have started off better.
when there's a Sheng Peng, there you go. When there is a full-blown media availability, we give them credit. That was by accident last episode. But anyway, San Jose Hockey Now is fantastic. I'm just going to read this out because I didn't want him to have to do another tweet. It said he was talking to other NHL scouts. Sheng was talking to other scouts and saying, well, what does Warsofsky mean by this, right? And so I'm just going to read this. It says the scout is saying that's where Smith needs to be low and helping out, where Schmaltz is until the puck is getting broken out. Again, he's already out. He's not low and helping out, right? Nothing's been broken out at this point, and he's flying out of the zone, right? Flying the zone without the puck means your team's cheating for offense. That's what I've been saying, right? And then winning hockey is more about thinking defense first. You can't just try to cheat for offense. You have to be more responsible defensively, and that's a losing habit that needs to be broken. Now, what team did we just talk about that wins by playing defense first? Carolina. And are they a cup contending team?
Absolutely.
They will absolutely be a cup contending team. The way that they're getting their offense is by being responsible defensively first, not trying to jump and leave the zone to cheat for offense.
I think this is a habit from college.
Because he's better than everybody else in college.
The lower levels. Like, I'm agreeing. Like, this is from the lower levels that needs to get stomped out. Now, where I just saw this. Wickedly Charming. I just think Smith is being lazy for some reason. Someone else had just said something. But what I was going to say about Smith, this is a normal trajectory for a young and upcoming player. This is not everyone. I feel bad for him because Celebrini is there and he is such a freak nature athlete, and stud player on both sides of the puck.
Yeah.
Normal offensive first kind of players have a hard time adjusting to the NHL level, and they have these bad habits that need to get stomped out. Now, did he bounce back after this? Did he respond to the benching?
And that's exactly where we're going after this, is that yes, he 100% responded to it. However, I do want to address something. The whole, like, the thing of comparing to Celebrini, right? I'm nowhere in that was, I know other people are.
No, I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm not saying you were either.
But what I'm saying is, when people just watch the way that he plays the game, that has nothing to do with comparing to Celebrini. That is just looking at the way that he's playing the game and saying these are the things that he needs to do differently and do better. And it's not, oh, he needs to work on his skating and it's going to take months for him to become a better skater.
Right.
Oh, he needs to work on his shot and it's going to take months for that to take effect. Or he needs to work on his hockey IQ, and that could be a lifetime. Who knows, right? Because hockey IQ is really hard to learn. This is, he needs to want to compete.
It's mental.
Right?
It's all mental.
So I think the best way to get over those mental hurdles is to just throw yourself 100% into that situation. He responded in this game in Pittsburgh, and I tweeted this out. So give me some credit here, folks, okay? I'm doing the best I can, all right? But I did say,
You're not always bashing him.
I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I am. I'm generally bashing on the guy because I see the same issue over and over. I know that he hears it from his coach,
right,
and he has chosen not to make a difference.
But you give him credit when he credit is due.
And I'm giving him credit right now because in the Pittsburgh game, he broke out of that. I saw him. This blew my mind, and it's a little thing, but it blew my mind. He was charging after a player. The player passed the puck. And within the allowable time for you to be able to still hit a player after they've unloaded the puck, before you get an interference penalty, he finished his check. Now, that may seem small, but to me, that is gigantic because it's a lot more than, who cares? He hit the guy after the puck was gone anyway. Doesn't matter. It's the mentality. It's the idea that I'm still going to go finish my check, even though it means nothing at this point. I'm still going to go and hit that guy. Does it do anything at all for the play? No. Does it do anything for his development? 100% it does. 100% it does. For him to say, you know what? Even if it has nothing to do with the play, I'm going to finish my check today. I'm going to go out there. That was what we call practicing and playing with a purpose. We heard Michael Misa talking about this. How do you stick into the NHL lineup? What did he say? I have to just go out and practice with a purpose. Make sure that what I'm doing is useful. And here's Will Smith in this game, finally getting the message after a season and a few games.
Right.
Going out, finishing his check, being physical. And you know what? For the rest of the game, too, he was running around quite a bit. Without the puck, I mean to say. When the other team had it, he was moving his feet.
Yeah.
And I don't normally see that out of Will. I see a lot of coasting, and I saw him moving his feet this game.
So you would say he got the message.
Yeah.
Is that a sign of a guy who has lost the room?
And we go back to that now, right? I don't think that he's lost the room.
Absolutely not.
That would be incredibly fast for a head coach to lose the room. Remind me again, how long has Ryan Warsofsky been at the helm?
One full season plus
these games.
Right?
So if you're telling me that he's lost the room after one season, essentially, in a handful of games, I tend to disagree. First of all, let's take a look at the roster. We said this already.
Point. Half the team is pretty much different than last season.
The majority of the team is different. So how can you lose the room when the majority of the guys are new to the room? It doesn't even make sense. So
I don't want to hear about freaking fragile, okay?
So I guess that's my whole point on that. And whoever posed the question, that's not me saying you're ridiculous. That's me saying the folks that are putting this and circulating it with no source whatsoever.
It's the same people that say Greer should be fired.
Yes.
Right?
Like, it's just grasping at anything to try to make sense of us losing and saying, if we change this one thing, we change the coach.
I think
we're going to win. If we change the GM, we're going to win. If we do this, we're going to win. It's not any one thing that's going to get them to win.
I think a lot of casual fans that don't watch a lot of hockey, and I'm not trying to knock them.
Right.
It's more of they're used to watching NFL. They're used to watching NBA, where one player steps up and really changes the whole team, right? Like when the 49ers got Christian McCaffrey, he completely changed the running game. Just one player halfway through the season. Hockey is very different because those guys aren't on the ice all the time. They're not like in NFL. You're on the field. The quarterback's on the field all the time on offense, right? It's very different, and you need multiple pieces, everyone working together.
Yeah.
So it's very different.
It's not even everybody working together. Because think about in basketball, you've got 5 guys on the court,
right,
and you have subs here and there. Hockey, you've got 18 guys at any point.
But my point is, it's not one guy that's going to fix it. There's no easy fix to change this. There's not going to be one thing like, oh, all they have to do is fire the coach and hire somebody else who, and in their minds, it's the Disney coach, right, from Miracle, that's just going to scream at them, you play for the name on the chest, not the back. Like, come on, get out of here. That's not how real life works. These are professional players. It's different. Now, someone did have a point. The lineup keeps getting scrambled, right? The lines keep changing. The chemistry isn't there. I agree to that to a point. However, they're 0-5.
Yeah.
They have to do something. When you're not producing and you're not winning, you got to change it up. If he's stuck with it for those 5, let's say he's stuck with the lineup for all 5 games, nothing changed, right? Minus the injuries.
All they'd be saying is, why isn't he shuffling the lines up?
It's a lose-lose situation.
Absolutely.
So I agree the chemistry is not there, but that takes more than the 5 games. That's going to take a full season. And it's unfortunate because there's such a high turnover right now on the roster every single year. That's Hasse Plattner earlier had said it, and even Mike Greer said it. This is the point where they're not going to be losing as many guys. And there was a good point last week. I don't know if it was in the show or if we're talking in our fantasy group, but the salary cap is going up so much, and we saw it this summer. There's less movement of free agents. They're re-signing with their teams. Look at Florida. They re-signed everybody, right? You're going to see that more because the cap is going up so much that the teams are going to be able to afford to keep their players now. So you're not going to see as many big free agents hit the market as before. It's kind of a weird situation. It's kind of disappointing too, because you're kind of like, wow, the Sharks could use them. So the Sharks are now going to have to re-sign some of the players, like Wenberg could possibly be re-signed. Who knows? Unless some deal comes along that's going to be great. But some of these guys are going to get re-signed. Some of them aren't. But we're going to see less turnover than we normally do. Now we're going to start seeing them building, right? They're going to be more of the young guys are coming out. Luca Cagnoni is called up, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get into that in a minute. But we're going to see more chemistry being developed over these next few seasons.
Yeah.
And I know it sucks because everyone wants it to be better now. We want to see the Sharks win now. When they're winless starting October again for the 3rd season in a row, it's rough.
I'd give up one of my children for a win.
I think fans of other sports like basketball, for instance, they see that how an entire franchise can change with just one draft pick, right? You get one, first overall, and he plays the majority of the game, and he makes a humongous difference. You can play ISO. Everybody spreads out, and he goes one-on-one, and then as long as that's working for him, your team's going to win, right? Hockey's just not like that, and I understand the fan base craving that win, right? The fan base craving getting back to playoffs, craving just respectability again, I think, right? I can understand that. And I know a lot of people are like, well, enough is enough. We need to be better now because we've been trash for the past 5 seasons or 6 seasons, whatever it's been, right? Like, okay, I get that. I really do.
Buffalo, how they're doing.
Yeah, for real. But, the thing is, you've gone through, you have to keep everything into account here, is that you've gone through a full-blown GM regime change as part of those 5-6 years, right? As part of that, you've had not the ownership, obviously, but I mean ownership over the contracts and all that stuff. Mike Greer comes in; he has to unload for a season or two before he can even start building. Right? He has to get rid of Brent Burns. He has to get rid of Erik Karlsson. He has to go through all of this hellish shifting of contracts and whatnot around to try. Honestly, like it's been pretty quick and as far as I'm concerned, the turnaround. Like how fast we've gone from old aging core to
quick is relative.
No. But it is though.
Look at Chicago.
It's been quick.
2 different ways though. Chicago did a fire sale and got rid of everyone at once.
Sure.
The Sharks had to take their time mainly because of the salary cap issues with
so,
other teams.
And that to me, the fire sale method is an extreme, right? I think in terms of just how a normal rebuild would be done, he's done it quickly.
Yes.
And I think that the assets that he's gotten back, that is the rebuild part of it. Now it's just a matter of them maturing. They're not going to mature over 5 games, guys. It's going to take a couple of seasons for them to get there, unless your name is Macklin Celebrini and you're just ready to go. So it's going to be a little while. Now, I understand nobody wants to wait anymore, but that's the way that it goes in hockey. It's not the same as basketball or the same as baseball.
It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Do you think, are you still confident about where we said in the beginning of the season where the Sharks will be in the standings? Like, because they still have no wins in 5 games, do you still think they're going to be not in last place in the league by the end of the season?
I don't like that you just put me on the spot there.
I'm sorry. I mean, someone kind of asked that. Like, are you still thinking 70, 80 points in the standings?
Fair point. We are 0-5?
Well,
essentially,
technically 0-3-2.
Okay, 0-3-2. All right. Honestly, I think that the way this team can play. I don't think that I'm still that far off. Now they may end up in last place again. K is what it is. But I'm just looking at the talent level, and if Misa does what I think he's gonna do, in just like a month or two, and kind of gets himself like acclimated. Remember, this is a guy that had the status. Exceptional status. Yeah. Again, it's not he's exceptional status. He's kind of like a franchise guy in NHL. No, that's not what I mean. I mean he's used to being the younger guy. Everyone else kind of outranks him. Everyone else is older than him. Everyone else is stronger than him. And yet it hasn't stunted his ability to play the game whatsoever, and very effectively. It's going to take him a little while to ramp up, and I think even just this season he's going to get real comfortable. And again, Celebrini light for me. I hope that's what's going to end up happening with him. I think Jeff Skinner and Tyler Toffoli bring a lot of veteran goal scoring, and just those 4, Celebrini, Misa, Toffoli, Skinner, add whoever else you want on the other wing. They're good enough, I think, on the other wing. Eklund. I didn't even say Eklund. Come on, right? I think this team has enough in the top 6 to be dangerous. It's just going to take a little bit more time this season, and I think they still will get closer to where I think that they're going to be. Now, they're not going to be playoff bound, and that's not going to happen for another season at least, right? But that's not the goal this season anyway. The goal is, and has been, development. Make sure that they are developing, getting better, gelling together, understanding the systems, getting used to the size and the speed of the NHL. Once you do that, it's just a matter of time. I understand you want the time to be less, but again, not the way the NHL works. Unless you're Connor McDavid and you just jump into the league and you start scoring like crazy.
Even then, that took Edmonton a while to build anything around.
Edmonton as a team a while. Absolutely, it did. Yeah. So you're not wrong there. Let's finish talking about the Pittsburgh game, because a lot of this is relevant to that, right? So in the Pittsburgh game, I was saying Smith was more aggressive, moving his feet more. He was engaged more physically. And of note, he was doing this without Celebrini. He was not playing on Celebrini's line in this game, which I found interesting. Because usually when the two of them are together, Celebrini's kind of being that mad dog out there, and then the puck gets to Smith, and Smith is kind of coasting with the puck and trying to stay away, and then just finds the pass and makes the pass, and then Celebrini grabs it and does his thing, right? He didn't have Celebrini to rely on in this game, and that to me was the other telltale sign. He's engaged and he's doing it, and he's not relying on Macklin.
Yeah.
So that to me, this was a big growth game for Will Smith.
Yeah, you got to drive. You got to be good enough to drive the line.
Yeah.
Right. If you're one of those elite players or going to be a star player, you need to be able to drive the line, and I think he did a better job. Granted, it was basically the third line, right? So he's playing against lesser competition on the other team as well.
Well, sometimes they put their first out there.
You still got to do it, right?
Yeah.
You still got to perform. And you still got to make a difference.
And okay, so I would just said sometimes they'll throw their first line against your third line. You can't really control that sometimes, right? But I think what you were saying was if he's up against the other team's third line, then it's kind of equal competition for him. It's not their top guys. This is kind of the reason that I was hoping Will Smith would get some time in the AHL, is because if he's constantly going up against third line and hoping that that's kind of the right matchup, maybe it just makes more sense for him to play at the AHL level. Now, obviously, you're not going to do that at this point.
I mean, if he gets in the doghouse enough, there's
Yeah.
a chance he could get sent down and be like, hey,
Okay.
you know?
And you know what? That actually works.
First, it would be a scratch. Like, you would get scratched for a game
Yeah.
and watch in the press box. That's
Yeah.
when you're really in the doghouse. And if it still doesn't turn around, then you get sent down.
But that actually works really well because at some point Klingberg's coming off of IR, and you don't want to send Iorio. Yeah, you don't want to send
Back on
Iorio
waivers.
back through waivers, and it gets Will Smith some time.
They're not sending Will Smith.
I
to
know,
AHL.
but I'm just saying it would work out really well. That's all I'm saying.
It would
Does he
have
belong
to-
there? No.
If he didn't, the first step would have been if he didn't respond
Sure.
in this Pittsburgh game.
Now,
which
did
I
you
think he
see?
did.
Did you see the intermission interview?
Yes.
People
And
were making a very big deal about
I don't
that.
think it was a big deal.
I don't think it was either.
I think it was
I think
more
it's
of-
misquoted almost.
I think it was more if he couldn't hear the question really, and he probably just gave his generic answer because it was a very generic answer of I'm just gonna go out there and play my game.
I don't
right?
even think he said I'm just gonna go out there. I think he said I just gotta go out there. And if
Yeah.
you think of it that way, that quote makes a whole lot more sense. And see, in the one sense, it sounded like, again, he doesn't care, and Warsofsky's lost the room. On the other hand, it sounds like he's saying, yeah, I agree, I just need to do that, and I'm not going to worry about, the being too specific on any one thing that I need to do. I'm gonna go out there and play my game.
Yeah.
Right? And that might have been a message from the coach. Go out there and just play your game. He told Misa the same thing. Stop trying to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Go out there and play your game, right?
Even MJ said I don't think Smith heard the question.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, it's hard because it's loud. You're in the arena and you're talking like they sound fine to us because they're talking to a microphone,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
can't hear each other when it's
Right.
that loud. I mean, we've been there during the draft party.
Yeah, we have.
and we're talking like this far away. I mean, granted they're next to each other, but it's really hard to hear in there.
So I'm actually a lot closer because it was like the three of us, and the two ends of those chairs
Yeah.
are closer than you and I were, and I
Yeah.
still could barely hear you guys.
Yep.
So, yeah, that one was rough.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just didn't hear it.
Yeah. I think people are making too much of that one, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I don't think Smith has any sort of attitude towards Warsofsky, and I don't think Warsofsky's lost the room. But back to this game here, yeah, he was able to do those things and show that growth kind of on his own. Yeah, he had his line mates, but he
Yeah.
didn't have his buddy. He didn't have the milk to his cookies, if you will. Okay? So good on Will Smith in that game. Nedeljkovic,
He had a-
fantastic game.
It's his former team, right?
Yeah.
This is where he came from Pittsburgh. I thought he had a great game.
I thought he had a fantastic game. He played really, really well. I mean, looking at the goals that went in, the first one was, and he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
Did you see the post game on this one? He's just such a funny guy. He says that Crosby got a lucky tip.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, it's Crosby, right? So and Shang asks him, is it really a lucky tip if it's Crosby though? And I'll quote him right now. He says, I think he thought Tanger, which is Letang, I think he thought Tanger was just going to send the puck wide like usual, and he just closed his eyes. It just hit his stick. Dude is hilarious. Okay, that's a fantastic quote. I love that. I love the
Former
energy.
teammate too. Like
Yes,
he's rousing his teammate.
of course.
Former teammate.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a great tandem, Nedeljkovic and Askarov, and I think that had something to do with them wanting to grab Nedeljkovic specifically. Like maybe the attitude. I won't say attitude.
Swagger.
The swagger.
Little swagger he's got.
Yeah. It is kind of similar. The Riz.
The Riz.
Yeah, they got the same Riz. There you go. So I think it's fantastic having both of those guys in.
Speaking of a guy that could possibly get signed. He's only signed to a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
Nedeljkovic.
I'd sign him longer if nobody wanted to trade me something fantastic to get him.
Exactly. I think he would be a fantastic guy because
personality was the word I was looking for. By the way,
okay.
Great
Sharks don't really
personalities.
have like an up and coming possible NHL backup right now.
Yeah.
Carrier down to the AHL. He needs more
okay.
time.
Okay.
He needs at least another full season at the AHL next year. So I don't think he'd be ready to be up. So I think signing him for at least another 1, maybe even 2 years, I think would do the Sharks very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, again, so we at the very beginning of the season we had said who is going to be your pick for the Sharks' top goalie, the best goalie, or whatever it is.
Yep.
I'm feeling pretty good right now. I don't mean to rain on your parade.
No, I feel awful right now.
I love Askarov too, but
he'll turn it around.
He'll turn it around.
It'll come back.
He absolutely will.
I'm not worried.
Yeah.
A lot of people I think are worried because but he's only played 2 games.
Yeah.
Like it's small sample size. He's gonna turn
Beat
it around.
off walls.
Now imagine Askarov.
He got beat off ball.
Imagine Askarov winning, right? Wins his next game. They put Nedeljkovic and he loses.
Yeah.
They put in Askarov. He wins again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
Nedeljkovic loses. Now everyone's gonna be like, oh, well, we can't play Nedeljkovic anymore.
You love living in the what if realm.
I do.
You do.
That's all I got as a Sharks fan.
I give up one of my children for a win.
So anyway, I just thought that was hilarious that he's with that quote that he gave.
Yep.
And then speaking of Crosby and tipping that puck in, just a ridiculous deflection. Iorio was right alongside him there. I don't know that he was boxing him out. I have to watch replay again.
He
but
had
he was,
his stick even on his stick, but he wasn't actively you know, getting it out of the way, which was what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
Like he's doing all the right things, but he wasn't.
Give it the gusto when you're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Send that stick helicoptering through space. You know what I mean?
Stands.
Yeah, absolutely. Give somebody a souvenir, you know? When my kids were in ice and they had their coach would be skating by and they'd all be standing there holding it and the coach would go bang and the stick would go helicopter flying and just all the way across the ice. And it was just like, yeah, hold on to your stick, you know? Do it with some gusto, man. Don't just put your stick on his stick, you know? Make him feel it. So anyway, Iorio gets there and it didn't matter. Sidney Crosby is Sidney Crosby. I don't think there's anybody quite that can tip the puck like Sid and Pavelski.
Right.
I don't know if there's anybody better, quite frankly. Especially with Sid like being on the side of the net. You see this all the time. They'll take a shot, he's on the side of the net, and he'll like chop at it.
What do you do as a defender, right? Or even as a goalie?
Pray?
Right? You just kind of try and cover the goal. That's rough.
Yeah. So he nails this one in, just a beautiful goal by Sid, and they're on the board 1-0 there, which ends up being the game-winning goal because the Sharks got smoked.
I
But
wouldn't say smoke.
I'm sorry, on the scoreboard they got the ostrich egg up there. But
Yeah, it was 2-0.
We just stunk.
yeah,
2-0 plus
We
an empty
stunk on the
netter.
power play, we stunk on the penalty kill, we stunk 5-on-5, our forward stunk, our defenseman stunk. We just stunk.
so I just meant they had the goose egg, you know.
Misa had a golden opportunity to score his first goal. I think the problem was the puck was not flat. It was moving because he couldn't really one-time it because he couldn't cleanly get the puck onto his stick. So he had to kind of settle it, then try and get a shot. But Tristan Jarry made a great save, and it was unfortunate. I mean, obviously he shut them
He made
out,
several great saves.
Yes.
Yeah. Sharks did their best, and I do mean that. In this game, I thought the Sharks looked fantastic. Super producer Jason was actually at this game, and he disagreed. He thought that they just stunk. And he was, there's the,
Still
you can't get your,
almost
there it is. There's the thumb down. There you
He's
go.
almost falling over in his chair.
He's
to get his
leaning
arm
over
in there.
quite a bit. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable. No, the fans were kind of revolting a little bit. They did not like certain players. We'll leave them nameless for now. And then, I guess they were restless with the team. Now this is again a bunch of fans who just want to see a win. They're just frustrated, right?
Yes.
So
We all are.
Yeah.
It's hard when, especially when you're like a diehard Sharks fan.
Yeah.
And all your friends know you're a diehard Sharks fan, and they're not diehard Sharks fans, and so they want to ask you like, you know, how come the Sharks suck? Like it's not a
Got beat
simple
off
answer.
walls.
It's not a oh well, you know, this Misa kid sucks. They shouldn't have drafted him.
Right.
Like it's just it's a lot. It's hard, and it eats at you every day.
Sell your children.
Yeah, so apparently that's what you need to do. Sell your children to get a win. So we thought that I thought that most of the players had pretty solid games. I think you said Dickinson.
Sam Dickinson had a very good game. Obviously not on the score sheet, but a very good bounce back game. It's like, I didn't look at the complete underlying numbers here, but he had 16:48 of ice time, -1, 3 shots, 2 hits, 2 giveaways, and any blocks here? No takeaways, no blocks. But I thought he looked stronger and he looked better and he looked more comfortable. I think he looked less like he was trying too hard, more comfortable, more confident in what he was doing. So I was happy with that. I think it was a good stepping stone for him.
And what did you just say about, you know, the trajectory? It's not going to be a linear. It's going to be, he had a good game in Utah, and then he, you know, comes back and he has a good game again in Pittsburgh.
Got to build off
against
it, right?
I should say.
Now he knows what he's doing right and how to do it again and be consistent with it.
And I think that we've said before with goaltenders, they take a lot longer generally to step into the NHL. Askarov is doing fantastic work as a very young goaltender. He's been scored on quite a bit, yes, but he's playing in the hardest league in the world. And I think he's made some pretty spectacular saves as well. So we'll give him that. Forwards tend to be, you could be on the younger side, and it's as long as your talent level is there, it's fine. But defensemen, generally defensemen take a few years before they're there. And this is a young guy who's stepping into the NHL. The Sharks haven't had this since Vlasic came into the league when he started playing right away.
Yeah,
you know,
it's magnified too. Your mistakes get magnified because they usually end up at the back of your net.
Yeah.
When you're a forward, your mistakes usually aren't as apparent because it's like losing the puck at the offensive zone. Like, oh man, that sucks. But at least you got your defenseman and goalie back there. As a defenseman, you have your goalie, and you don't want to leave him out to dry.
Right.
So when you get exposed and other teams like the Carolina game, it's glaring more than when you're playing as a forward, right?
Yeah.
And not as, I don't know, detrimental
There's
mistakes.
more layers of protection.
Yes.
If your first man in F1 it gets beat, you've got 4 other guys and a goaltender that they have to get through, and that mistake isn't the end all be all, right?
Mm-hmm.
It tends to get stopped before it becomes a blunder, right? But if that defenseman gets beat, anything that happens directly after that ends up in the back of your net, that there's no other layer of defense, and then the spotlight is on you. And if I recall, it was Henry Thrun that had mentioned this in the interview that we talked to them, right? Yeah, so it was Henry Thrun. Yeah, so check that interview out again. It's cool. We get Henry
mental.
Thrun, Colin Graff, and Jack Thompson in those interviews. But yes, it is. It's a mental game. Absolutely, it is.
And you don't have, in this case, they don't really have a practice before they're moving on to the next game.
Yeah.
I mean, that Utah game was Friday, and then the Pittsburgh game was Saturday. It was back to back.
Yeah.
Right now, they're heading on a road trip and on the East Coast, so they're not going to have many practices in between these games. So it's just game after game after game.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, it's going to get tougher because we have some guys in the IR, but Luca Cagnoni gets the call up. I am so excited.
Now, I'm curious about this because Klingberg was looking good on the power play.
Okay.
He's not on IR, but he's hurt and hasn't been in. Now, apparently they keep saying it's not related to his hip, which he had the resurfacing done, similar to Patrick Kane. But it's a different injury. Obviously, they're not going to say it's lower body, but it's not his hip. But he's not on IR. So now that makes me think, now that they called up Cagnoni to replace him, basically for the power play, is there something longer term for Klingberg being out? Is he going to be out more than... Is he on this road trip? I don't even know if he's making a road trip.
Yeah.
If he's not, then I wouldn't be surprised if they do put him on IR.
Well, so Mukhamadullin and Liljegren are also on IR right now.
Yes, they put Mukhamadullin on IR to bring up Cagnoni.
Right.
Which is concerning because Mukhamadullin cannot stay healthy.
Yeah.
And he is probably right now one of their best defensive defensemen. He is a big body, a big stick. He's a good net front presence defensively to block out guys and helps their goaltending. And right now, he hasn't been in the lineup much this season. So that's concerning that he did hit IR because something's up with him.
Yeah, for a young guy, you hate to see him getting on IR there, and you just hope that it's not something that's a recurring issue in a very young career. I mean, forget whether or not we win the trade that the Timo Meier trade,
right?
Forget that, right? But it's just more about the player and the health of the player, right? The human being. You'd hate to see him have an injury at a young age and it affect his career going forward when it's so promising and he hasn't really even started yet. You know?
It hurts the team too because he's so good defensively that the team is suffering from it.
Yeah.
So it really sucks.
So I don't know. I think I'd love to see Luca Cagnoni get a game in. I'd love to see him get in there.
I'm sure he's in a few.
And I'd love to see him run the power play.
Yes, I'm excited for it too.
Yeah.
This is a kid that kind of an underdog
every
single level. Like everyone kind of doubts him because he's so small.
5'9", is it?
Yeah, I think, or 5'10", 5'9".
I think he's 5'9". We'll say 5'9" because it sounds better.
But he outperforms every time.
Yeah.
Like last year was his first rookie year as a professional in the AHL level, and he was one of the top scoring defensemen in the league. Like, let alone rookies, but one of the top scoring defensemen overall. So He's definitely has some talent, has a little chip on his shoulder for being, undervalued, and I think he went in the 4th round, if I remember correctly. And I remember Graham was excited about it because he should have gone higher. If he was taller, he would have been in the 1st round, but he went into the 4th round. So kind of a steal for Mike Greer here. Would love to see him do well in these games and get on the score sheet here.
That would be fantastic, and hopefully he does that as soon as humanly possible. That would be on Tuesday.
Yes.
Now, there is another pretty sort of decent defenseman in this game as well with the New York Islanders. Kind of okay.
Yeah, he's all right. Schaefer.
Yeah. He's all right.
Have you seen how many minutes he's been playing?
Tons, huh?
Like 25 minutes as an 18-year-old. And he's putting up points.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's... No, imagine if that was on the Sharks.
Yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
I give up one of my children for a win.
It doesn't get old, man. And we'll address this in a second, but CJ earlier said, does Paul Stradamus see a win in the coming week? It's a long road trip. So, yes, it is a road trip. Thank you, CJ, for bringing that up. All these games are going to be away, and therefore all of these games are not going to be at 7 o'clock Pacific time. So, running through the list here, Tuesday in New York Islanders Arena, whatever it is, 4 p.m. Thursday at New York Rangers, 4 p.m. Then on Friday, New Jersey Devils, 4 p.m. Sunday, Minnesota, 3 p.m. So you do get the back-to-back there, Thursday, Friday.
It's a lot of games.
It's a lot of games. So talk to me about these games in particular. Which ones do you think the Sharks have the best opportunities in?
I'm going to say the Rangers because they're struggling right now.
Right.
The Rangers can't score. It's kind of weird. Hopefully they don't break the dam against the Sharks and put up an 8 spot. I know people are going to come back against me about that one, but they are due. They are due, and it's scary that they're going to go into that nightmare. But if their struggles continue, I think that's a good bet. I think, it's hard to say what team the Sharks are better than.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like they're better than no one. They're better than the Calgary Flames right now. That's it.
They are.
This was such a different segment, when we first started and the Sharks were at the top of the league.
We could beat anyone.
Oh my god.
We'll beat everyone.
Extremely disappointing. Downright embarrassing.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we were good. That's for sure.
I'm going to go on a limb and say they're going to get 2 wins on this road trip.
Wow.
Because I think if they follow the momentum what they did in Pittsburgh, against Pittsburgh, not in Pittsburgh, but I think they're turning the corner right now. And I think they're pulling together as a team and realizing that there are no nights off. You got to work your tail off. You got to do all the right things. And I think they're pulling it together, and I think it's going to happen this week.
So you think it's going to happen this week?
I'm not going to say against 2.
You're not going to say against 2.
I'll just say 2 wins. Because they're going to surprise us. Against any of these teams, there'll be a surprise.
Well, I think what you were saying about the Rangers, they're struggling. And I think
Yes.
maybe the Sharks can pounce on that. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Sharks are going to do well against the Rangers because they're going to be riding high off of their first win against the New York Islanders.
Okay.
They are going to see Matt Schaefer, and Michael Misa is going to look at him straight in the eye. And maybe he has to look a little bit up. I don't know. I think Schaefer looks a little bit taller to me. But he's going to look him straight in the eye, and he's going to say, I should have gone number 1. And I'm glad that I'm not out here in the aisle, right? I'm glad I'm in San Jose, palm trees, right? Sunshine. So I think that Michael Misa is going to have a decent game against the Islanders because it's going to be a little bit of a chip on his shoulder that they picked Schaefer instead of him.
Okay.
So there you go. So I hope that's the win, and they're riding high, and they go into the Rangers barn and take one there too.
Right. I'm glad it's not a back-to-back with the Islanders and Rangers.
Yeah.
It is going to be a back-to-back to the Devils. I think that's going to be a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to suck.
Hughes.
Devils are, way better. They're getting better. It's not Luke Hughes. Is it Luke Hughes? And there's so many Hughes brothers. There's Jack is the forward, but who's the defender? So
Quinn
Luke?
Hughes is
Quinn.
Vancouver.
Quinn.
Yeah.
Oh, Quinn's in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So Luke is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I mix them up. I even have Luke on my fantasy team, and I always forget which Hughes I have. Yes, I think that they're becoming a much better team and gelling. They were kind of struggling, I think, 2 seasons ago. Last season, they kind of put together a little bit better, and this season, even better now for the Devils.
Nice.
Yeah.
Minnesota's just not an opportunity to win there.
I mean, there's always an opportunity to win the NHL. You never know. What if Minnesota plays
$16
down?
million man gets hurt?
Right,
Maybe
they play down to the Sharks level, right?
Yeah.
They don't work hard because
Sure.
they don't need to, and the Sharks can take them by surprise, or they get into penalty trouble, and the Sharks make them pay on the power play. You never know. Maybe Ashcroft shows up and shuts them out. You never know. That's why you got to watch and find out, right? That's why we watch. We watch because there's hope. There's hope that the Sharks will get their first win this week, and I think it's going to happen twice.
That felt like a very come back next week for the same bad time, same bad channel.
That's right.
Okay, so those are the games. We didn't put it in here, but I did note that it was an occurrence. And I'll bring this up actually real quick. Just the jersey from Los Tiburones night. Let's take a look. First of all, that's pretty sweet. I like that.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. I'm not super sure about the butterflies, but it is pretty sweet. I like the artwork. There you go. So Los Tiburones. There you go. And they got the little thing around the armband there too. But I don't know if you wanted to address this at all. I know it was a kind of a hot topic online, and I'm sure some of the folks know what we're alluding to here. Did you want to go into that at all?
Sure.
May as well.
You just brought it up, so
Yeah. So there was. I don't want to get into too much political type stuff, leaning one way or the other, or whatever the case is. But it's a heritage night, obviously, Los Tiburones, right? And I guess on the Jumbotron, there was a bit of a message that got through some of the censors and should not have been there. And there's some confusion because it was saying something about ice, right? It was...
I don't remember the exact words. It was something like, the Sharks love ice. Go get them, boys.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I think that... And a lot of fans, at the first glance, me included, first glance saw that, I'm like, what's the problem? And then obviously it hit me what was going on.
The problem is they used all caps for everything, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't stick out as much. If it was not all caps and ice was all caps,
it
would stick out more.
Yeah.
I think that was part of the problem of probably how it got through the censors too,
Right.
because people were like, oh, ice, Sharks,
okay, ice. They skate on ice.
Right.
And go get them, boys. Yeah, go get them. I hope we win this game. That's right.
Right.
But obviously that was not the intention behind the message, and the Sharks accidentally put this up on the center hung.
The fact that it was Los Tiburones night too,
and that's why
yes.
is because it was Los Tiburones night that it was just like, dude, what? So that's kind of a weird one. But to the Sharks' credit, Jonathan Becker. They immediately sent out an apology on social saying, "Oh my God, we put
that's
the guy."
Not Becker.
Immediately, that's not Becker. Immediately put out a message on socials, kind of apologizing for the whole gaffe, right? So good on them for doing that and kind of taking ownership of it. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those weird things that happened, and just kind of wanted to bring it to light. I don't really know where else to go with it from there, to be honest with you, but I just wanted to address it.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I don't know if someone was trying to do it as a joke and they're like, oh my gosh, it went through, or if they're really trying to be...
Yeah.
They pay money for those.
They do pay money for
Yeah.
those, right?
Costs.
Yeah. So that thing's just going to be, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of goes away for a while.
Yeah.
Where you can send messages, or they're really going to scrutinize what goes on there, and they're going to filter out stuff that should be okay. So who knows?
Yeah,
But-
and for me, it was just, again, I don't want to get into the politics side of things, but when something like that is deliberate and it's on, again, like a heritage night, and it's kind of, that's just in poor taste, right? You can have your views one way or the other, that's fine, but to deliberately go out of your way to try to sneak something up on the board that would anger a certain part of the fan base, I think is just... Can we just be nice?
A big part of the fan base that was there that night.
Yeah, of course. Well, for that night specifically,
Yeah.
But can we just be nice? Let's just be nice.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
There's a bunch of people the fans that argue with each other just already online. You guys aren't even nice there. Do we really need to put messages on the center?
It's inviting the trolls,
Yeah.
right, from online that we all see and deal
Yeah.
with and ignore,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's now in the arena.
Yeah.
I think that sucked.
Yeah. I will say on X there is a certain source of pain that is constantly just being pessimistic and negative about everything, and we're just not going to respond to that stuff, and it's okay. You can have your opinion, that's all well and good, but our mission here is to try to be, like I said at the beginning of the show, a little bit of therapy for the ailing.
Got beat off walls.
I will say, I think a lot of people were upset with the Sharks organization for allowing
missing
that to go through, and I don't want to say they definitely did not do that on purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like they are on that side of like, oh yeah, we should put this up and troll half of our fans. Why would any company, corporation, any kind of business want to alienate half their fans? So no, I don't think they did it on purpose. I don't think they were trying to sneak it through. I think it truly was
a mistake.
An
mistake,
accident that got through and that should not have.
I mean, like I said, I looked at it and was like, wait, what's the problem?
I had to reread it. And I was like, oh. And I think for me, it was because it was all, well, the context, before even the context of just the all caps. The all caps made me read it quickly, and I was like, what's wrong with that? And I go, and it's Heritage Night. Oh, come on. Yeah. That's bad. Yeah.
Anyway, be nice to each other. Come on, guys. We're all rooting for the same team here. Okay. Aaron, any other comments? No, I don't want you to think of anything else to say. I want you to read comments. Do you have any comments? Don't look up here.
I thought you said
up here.
I had any comments. I thought that's what you were asking.
Do you have any comments in the comment section?
No, just some people are agreeing that it was a mistake. Some thinks it was overblown. Just kind of going back and forth. So anyway, Ben just asked if someone could explain. You can.
Yeah, I think a Google search is probably better for that. We don't need to go
more into it, but
besides, we're trying to do a short show here, huh?
Right.
How about that? Just under an hour and a half.
So short.
Wow. Running out of tape.
He's back here going.
One thing I will say is we're looking into getting those card packs open as a special thing for members. You gonna say something?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, we're looking to do a
special show where the problem is we're gonna set up cameras and we haven't done it, looking down at the desk while we open them, so you can see it as we're opening them and you can see what we're pulling. Because I think it'd be fun. It's something different that we're doing. And for members, we're gonna give away those Sharks cards or maybe any of the cards that you'd want. And I think it would be a fun thing to do. So if you would like to become a member, you can go to our YouTube homepage and you can click Become a Channel Member today. Sorry, go to our channel page. And it's $2.99 a month. And you click Join, and that will be a members-only kind of thing. And we're going to do some more of that this season, kind of try it out, and see where that goes.
As of right now, Brykar and Crichton, and you, I guess.
Yes.
You remember.
Yes, I remember.
Are the only ones eligible. The only ones eligible.
I want to keep those cards.
Out of 2 whole boxes worth of these packs.
These are last season's cards. So these are the Will Smith and Celebrini rookie cards.
So I'm not saying you should, but maybe you should. So in any case. And it goes a long way to support the show. Other ways you can support the show, of course, Venmo at the Fin Factor or Super Chat. Anything that you put into the chat there, we'll go ahead and read it out on the show. Obviously, at this point, it's a little bit late, but we'll still do it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if you go to thefinfactor.com, check out any of the merch that we have for sale. If you want to check out the hats or the sweatshirts or the T-shirts, any of that stuff that we have on there, you can support the show and get something back in return, and you look fantastic while you do it. So there you go. Anything else? We already did the membership thing. Aaron's the member guy. Yeah. So we're good. Yeah. Okay. Hey guys, again, thank you so much for being in the chat and for always being respectful to each other. We appreciate that. We know it's a hard season. We know it's been a hard few seasons. We are here for you guys. But again, we don't really know sometimes when we're going to be here for you guys. So if you are not subscribed, hit the button, hit the bell for alerts. I'll let you know when we're going to be going live, and you guys can join in and be part of the fun and bring your Sharks friends and family in with you. So we do appreciate that as well. And there's do it one more time. Anyway, I guess that's it. So guys, once again, thank you so much for super producer Jason. I'm Paul. And I'm Aaron.
I give up one of my children for a win.
And we will see you guys
next week.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live stream on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts. You'll also find our exclusive merchandise to help support our show.